Welcome back, guys. This is supposed to be a special live episode of the inauguration of Donald John Trump. I have our same guest here, Ferris. We're watching live. Unfortunately, you guys are going to have to get this after it's already been done. Unfortunately, there were some issues on YouTube with the recording end, so I do apologize for that. But we're going to provide you our live commentary and opinions post the fact, so you guys can let us know what you think about everything that's going on. We're going to discuss a few decisions Trump has made in recent years and just give our overall opinions on everything that's going on during his swearing in here. Say hi to the people, Ferris.
Hey guys, we wanted to do a special edition of the inauguration episode for you guys. Sadly we couldn't do it live, but we're watching it right now while we speaking it to you guys.
Yeah, the goal was also to have this live across platforms. I wanted on YouTube, where you guys are probably seeing this. We're going to try to go live on TikTok. Unfortunately, TikTok couldn't do that for a few reasons. And also on the new app Xiaohongshu, or Red Note, the Chinese app. But my account is too new. They also wouldn't let me. So all the platforms just gave me a few issues today. But we're not going to let that distract us from a good day. We're going to show this presidential inauguration. You guys can see on screen right now, Ferris is seeing separately. We got Donald Trump and Joe Biden standing across from each other. Big podium in the middle. A lot of blonde people.
Yeah, it's official. So they already did. JD Vance already made his oath, and Donald J. Trump made his oath too. So it's technically right now he's the president of the United States.
Yep, there we go. We got a new president. We're seeing him right there. Interesting thing. What if Donald Trump had been? Donald Trump had a heart attack right after JD got sworn in, but before he did. Would JD become president?
Technically, yes, he would be. I think he would be. It'd follow the chain of command.
Loki would
Don't
be.
remember what is the chain of command? Isn't it technically like
I think it's the.
a president dies, goes to the vice president, then vice president, it would go to Speaker of the House, right?
Yeah, I think you're talking about the chain of succession, not the chain of command. But
Yeah, chain of succession.
Speaker of the House is third in line, and then there's like the Secretary of State is fourth, I think. A lot of stuff.
That makes sense. That's crazy, man.
It is.
If you look at Biden right now, he looks so happy that he's done.
He looks relieved for
He's
sure.
just smiling. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was so funny a while back when Donald Trump had that assassination attempt, and Joe Biden called him and was like, "Oh my God, my friend got shot," and everybody was like, "Wait, are these guys friends? Do they like each other? All that, all that stuff they say about
Yeah.
each other."
They're very like, I guess they're all very buddies. The way they've been looking, specifically after he dropped out of the race to go against Trump, him and Biden and Trump have been very like buddies with one another. Pretty unique.
I mean, you got to think about it. There's not that many people who can remember a lot of the stuff they remember. They're some of the only people left alive that are in their 80s. You know what I mean? Like, that's a very small
Yeah,
segment of the population.
that's true. That's true. They're both pretty damn old. Let
Ancient
me
people.
just say,
Yeah.
ancient people, boomers, as we say, guys.
Got that ancient designed room too. All the Roman statues. Look at this old dude right there.
Yeah.
Good God, bro.
That guy, what is he? Is he a Vietnam veteran? Probably.
Probably before Vietnam.
I
That might
thought
be a World War.
67.
That might be a World War II veteran right there. That dude looked
I don't
ancient.
know. He did look ancient, I'll tell you that. It just for me, I saw the age. It said 1967.
Yeah, that's Vietnam. Man, Vietnam was a long time
Yeah,
ago. It's crazy, you know.
it is, man. By the way, guys, I want to say that Chad and I were watching the same live stream and Associated Press.
It is Associated Press. See the AP in the bottom right corner of my screen, courtesy of AP. We have the live stream going. Man, get a close up of Trump. Man, Barron Trump is tall. The dude in the back, he just
He picked the wrong profession, man. He picked the wrong profession. He needs to be in the basketball court.
he used to be somewhere, man. This is crazy. He's like 6'8" or something ridiculous. He doesn't look 6'8" there. He looks like 6'5", 6'6". Maybe I'm tripping, but yeah, no.
Yeah.
These guys are giant.
He's tall, man. He's a giant. Yeah, I saw videos of him like when he was playing soccer, like when he was in high school. Like imagine a 6'8" giant playing soccer. I'm
Well,
like, what are you doing? For me, if it was me, I'll tell him if you're gonna play soccer, you gotta be a goalkeeper. You can't play anything else. Literally, in my opinion, you can't play anything else. I'm gonna be very like straight up. You can't play anything else. You gotta be a goalkeeper.
You're gonna get mixed. Like if Messi was, if Messi 5'6" came and tried to pass under you, like your legs, you can't move all that leg quick enough. It's too much mass.
Yeah, yeah. Like the only other position that he technically can play is mid. I mean, the center back, like in defense. But
Yeah,
still, you know,
yeah. Now get him on the basketball court. This is America.
yeah,
This isn't Europe. He's not Slovenian, even though he has the accent.
yeah. Also, I want to say everybody, Chad and I, we would like to say that this is the first. I think this report is the first inauguration indoors in 40 years, I believe. So we just want to say because they're saying it's because it's really cold outside.
It's because
Usually the inaugurations are outside.
these old people, their bones are too brittle and they get those arthritis aches. And now, oh man,
Yeah, man. I prefer outside, man. It gives a better look, you know?
100%. And you can get more people there, and outdoors you can fit more
Way
people.
more. I guarantee that outside there is people. There's a whole bunch of people. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So this might be more this inauguration for Trump is probably more popular than the first one he was at in 2017 technically.
There's definitely
So,
there's been more high profile figures who have been associated with it. I mean, famously on the internet, kind of a joke. Snoop Dogg said he's going to perform. So
yep.
he said he hated Trump first time
Uh,
around, but now
all the tech CEOs are there too right now. So,
Peter Thiel.
uh, uh yeah, Peter Thiel. There's TikTok CEOs there. There is Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk. There's a whole bunch of them. So,
Yeah, and there's a lot of the major fashion
oh,
houses.
Amazon, which is what's his name
Bezos.
again? Bezos is there too. So like he's getting a lot of them. One thing I found very interesting, Chad, was like a couple days ago, when Biden had his last meeting, his last interview. He talked about um how like he warned the United States of how it might be start becoming like, as an oligarch,
An
which you
oligarchy.
can kind of see that. It's been like that for some time, in my opinion, but
Yeah.
right now it's becoming more persistent, like more you can see it more.
Yeah, I mean, there's an argument that since its founding, it's been an oligarchy. Originally, the only people who could vote were men that owned land, which is a
Yep.
very narrow subset of people, larger in the U.S. than in other countries, of course, of the time, but always been a very narrow subset of people, which is sort of oligarchical. The idea that you have to
Hmm.
have a certain amount of wealth to contribute to the political identity of a nation. So you could say this is almost just a return to tradition, which is what a lot of online right wing people have been clamoring for. But this may not be the tradition they were hoping for.
From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again
That's
all
true.
over the world.
That's true.
We will
Gosh,
begin with
man. For me, again,
revolution,
this
and we will not
seeing
allow
other
ourselves to
inaugurations
be taken
growing up,
advantage of
this does not give
any
me a good
longer.
like. It doesn't look
During
that good
every
to me.
single day of the Trump
Cause seeing like
administration,
outside,
I
seeing
will
all that,
very
it's just
simply
like
put
it's much
America
better,
More
first.
powerful.
much better, more powerful. That shows the world like, holy crap, this is the United States of America. This is the new president of the U.S.
Our
I think we really are
sovereignty
entering a new era,
and
though. And
land,
this is the imagery
our
from this,
safety
Yeah.
will be
honestly. Like if this was a
restored.
movie, like the shift in
Scales of
tone, the shift in
justice will
visuals
be
that's occurring here,
rebalanced.
really
The
is marking a
vicious
big
violence
transition.
and
It's
unfair weaponization of
Yeah,
the Justice
big time,
Department and
big time.
government
I'd
will
be honest
end.
with you. This is just my prediction. I think he's gonna start gunning after people. He's gonna start coming after everybody who kind of really went after him.
well, he's
You
talking about
know?
it
Our
now.
top priority will be to create a nation that is
He's saying,
proud, prosperous,
they were
and
going after him.
free.
The justice system was weaponized against him.
Yeah. I'm looking at the chats, the live chats for it, and
America
everybody's
will
pointing
soon
W.
be greater,
I mean, he
stronger,
won for a reason.
Someone
People
said,
like
"Let's
him.
go, Hillary."
exceptional
Let's go,
than
Hillary.
ever before.
Where's the stimulus check at? Somebody just said.
I'll take one. If he's offering one, I'll
Return
take
to
one.
the presidency
Yeah, man.
calls
Somebody
for
said
an
W.
optimistic that we are
Egg
at the start
prices.
of a thrilling new era of
That's the funniest thing. A
national
lot of people have been
success.
complaining about egg prices as a hallmark
Changes sweeping the
of
country.
inflation
Sunlight
under
is pouring
Biden. The
over the entire
Bidenomics, egg
world,
prices,
and
everything
Yeah.
America
costs
has the
more.
chance to seize
I
this
will say, my life,
opportunity.
Yeah.
me personally, my life was better under Trump's first term than under
Let's be
Biden's
honest
term.
about the
We'll see
challenges we
if it's better
face.
this time around.
While they
I'm
are
willing to be,
plentiful,
you know
they
what I
will be
mean. I'm
annihilated
willing
by
to
this
be
great
happy and to
momentum
support him if my
that the
life
world is
improves.
now
I'm purely motivated by opportunities. Is do the opportunities to have a good life for me as a young person improve or get worse? Under Biden, they definitely got worse. Under Trump, we'll see if that continues or if we see a reversal.
Yeah. I just think again, one thing I like people to they can remind them is this. For me, I don't care for both parties. Let me just state that. But for me, I'm like, it's hard to kind of judge what just happened in the last couple of years, just because we were we're coming out of an economic crisis because of COVID. COVID for about a year and a half has literally stopped the world from really working fully to its capacity. And we had a lot of issues, a lot of like, for example, cars. Cars were they
Really,
stopped making new cars. That was a big issue. So a lot of like old cars, if you're selling like pre-owned, you could buy them like brand new cars. That's how much it was worth at the time. So it's just crazy to see. I'll be honest with you.
yeah, no. I mean, the way he's talking right now, if you're paying attention to the things he's saying, it's such a
Mhm.
big switch from previous Republican talking points. People have always talked about that, about how Trump is very far from a traditional Republican. But for the past minute and a half, he's been talking about, the U.S., the powerful and wealthy, are extracting from poor people and they're getting us involved in wars abroad that we shouldn't be involved in. Historically, those would have been, Democrat or socialist or extreme left wing talking points, and here he is
Yeah.
adopting them. It's interesting.
That's the thing. One thing I've noticed about him, at least he's said a lot of times in his speeches and in the past too, or when he's gunning after somebody. For example, when it was like the Republican national debates, this past one, it was him and Nikki Haley. He was gunning after Nikki Haley specifically. Well, him and Vivek Ramaswamy, but specifically him, he would basically gun after them and basically say like, "Hey, like." You want war. You want war. You're craving for war. He went after her, Liz Cheney, saying all they want is war, war, war. Why? It's because it's profits. So when you look at specifically, uh, what's her name again? I just said,
Nimrata Haley.
yes, Narada Haley. Um, she's part of like she has like stock or she's part of Boeing. She was like the Boeing CEO or something. Or she was like regarding something with Boeing.
Deep
But
ties.
I know she makes profits. She has ties with Boeing. So it makes sense because Boeing is part of the military industrial complex.
Yeah, it's the biggest part. It's probably the only company in America still that is really an effective manufacturer of war materials. I mean, we have a couple
Yeah.
small arms manufacturers that are still good in the U.S. We have a few
Yeah.
plane manufacturers, but in terms of drones, military weapon systems, military
Hmm.
planes, and things of that nature, Boeing is the only top tier manufacturer we still have. I was looking at a chart the other day of all the drone technology and where it's produced and where it's assembled and things of that nature. And 90%
Hmm.
of all drones in the world are assembled in China. Their parts are put together in China. Even if, the battery materials, the cobalt that we need for those types of things, the lithium,
Hmm.
the steel, the plastic, all the other things that we have to use in the production, they may come from a variety of countries: America, the Congo and Africa, parts of North
Hmm.
Africa, parts of East Asia, they come
Hmm.
from all over the world, but they're all put
Hmm.
together in China for the most part. Boeing is
Yeah.
one of the few companies outside of China that still does significant manufacture of drones and other military technologies, but for the most part, China has really taken that all over. So,
Yeah. It's pretty interesting to see, I'll be honest with you. One thing I'm noticing about him specifically, he talked about some of his plans that he talked about when he's in office. He wants to bring back the American Golden Age. He said that specifically because, as everybody knows, uh, during his presidency, I believe he's going to be 250 years of American history. I believe 250 years.
I mean, yeah, the
So
political turnings, people are saying.
yeah, so like 250 years of American history. So he's planning to do like a world like bring back like world fairs, I heard, something like that. Trying to do competition, trying to make these buildings again. He's basically he basically said he wants to make the American Golden Era back again. That's his goal. This kind of election. This term. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
So
it's gonna take a lot to get it all done within 4 years, which is all he legally has, you know. But
yeah,
hey, I mean, he's
we'll see what's gonna happen with that. So he's also hinted that he wants to kind of like, he's like maybe people won't want me back, after this. So he's kind of hinted at that, but I don't know. I don't see that happening. I'll be honest with you. It's too hard to do that in the U.S. Let me just tell you that. It's really that hard to do in the U.S. Because if you do that, if let's say if you get rid of it, right? You get it was like an amendment. I forgot what the amendment it was. What number?
20 in the
That we have
20s, I
basically
think. Yeah, but the term
it's in the
limits
20s. Two term
because it
limits.
came after FDR.
Yes, yeah. So, I think what he's gonna do, uh, he's if he does that, if he tries to get rid of that, so he can go out again for a third term. Some people that make jokes say, "Oh, Obama's gonna come back," and then him against Obama. You
That would
know,
be interesting.
that would be interesting. That would be interesting. But again, I don't see that ever happening. I
Very
really
unlikely.
don't see that happening. So. I think what's gonna happen is like probably one of his kids or JD Vance is gonna try to go it. The thing is, I don't see JD Vance winning. I'm being honest with you.
It would
I
be
really don't
interesting.
see him winning. It would be very interesting, but I just don't see JD Vance winning.
The only member I would vote for JD Vance because if the Democrats put somebody old up against him again, you know what I mean. I never want to see an old person win. So JD Vance, he's in his, I think he just barely turned 40 or something like that. So he's younger than
Something like that. He's pretty young. Yeah, he's pretty
pretty young.
young.
So I would
I,
vote for him off of
which
that.
I'll be honest with you, I kind of agree with you in that aspect. For me, I want to see specifics like who the Democrats go put up. If they keep putting the same stuff like they usually do, I'm not voting for that. For example, there is already potential like names that they talked about. Um, they haven't really talked about anybody super old, so that's good. Um, I saw that they talked about like some people think about John Fetterman.
He's
I don't like the
young.
guy.
He's had that brain damage occur to him during that car
Yeah,
accident, which is
yeah.
no
I don't
hate
like the guy
towards
though.
no ableism, but I do wonder about putting somebody with that much brain damage in office. That being said,
Yeah,
we just had
yeah,
Biden in
yeah,
charge, so I mean,
yeah, yeah. Uh, there's one I forgot his name. Not John Ossoff. There's one guy I think he's a Kentucky governor. He's a Democrat, Kentucky governor. Um, he's getting a lot of name. I wouldn't if he has good policies. I wouldn't mind going for him. Some people say Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, another one.
oh yeah, the guy who killed people in
Um,
Israel. Andy
yeah,
Bashir is the governor of
Andy
Kentucky.
Bashir. Yes, Andy Bashir. That's why a lot. That's a lot of not name. He's a young guy, very young guy. Has
47.
the buzz.
He would be 51. 51. I mean, it's younger than anybody else that's been put up. So at this point, 50 might have to just be a young age. We might have to look at 50 and say, yeah, that's good enough.
That's what you got to understand. When it comes to like presidential elections,
You got to be
these guys you're
35.
never gonna see. You have to be 35, but you're never gonna see anybody that's that young going to win. The reason why I say that's because it's like, look, the youngest ever is Barack Obama, if I remember.
No, it's actually John F. Kennedy.
Really? I thought it
Yeah,
was Barack Obama.
John F. Kennedy
But
was
both of them are
exactly
close.
35 when he was elected. Obama was like 40, I think. Obama was young, but
Really? Let me.
yeah.
I gotta check that out.
Go ahead, yeah. I'll look it up. See, youngest president was. Oh wait, why is it saying it's Theodore Roosevelt when I look it up? Let's see. John F. Kennedy. Okay, it says in the National Archives, John F. Kennedy was the youngest man elected to office. Let's see here.
He was elected at 43 years old.
John F. Kennedy.
Yeah,
I
he just
swear.
looks young. That's the thing.
I swear they said. Hold on. Yeah.
Let's see. Obama.
Yeah, it was because he was assassinated at 46, and that was after winning his second election. So he must have been 40,
Yeah,
42, 43.
43 is said, and then Obama was 47.
Okay,
So
yeah.
that makes sense. But you get my
Yeah,
point
it
is
does
to
make
tell,
more
to tell
sense.
you, the early youngest you're gonna probably be president is in your early 40s,
Yeah, for sure.
and that's what I'm saying. Like Andy Bashir wouldn't be an issue
I will direct
I
our
don't see that
government to
being issue.
use
Just
the
I gotta see
full
his
and
policies
immense
before he
power of
makes anything,
federal
you
and
know.
state law enforcement
Because I've
to
heard this. That's
eliminate
the
the
names I've been
presence of
hearing.
all
Of
foreign
course, I heard
gangs
like
and criminal
AOC being one of the
networks.
names, but I'd be honest
These
with you,
devastating
no one's gonna.
crimes
She can't. She's not gonna
leave
beat anybody.
U.S. soil,
She's
No.
really not gonna beat
including
anybody.
our
I think
seas
they
and
painted
inner
her too
cities.
much as like a commie. That like people are gonna be like, no.
And then the communist
And
painted her as a sellout, so she can't win anybody.
yes,
As commander in chief,
she's not
I
gonna
have
win
no
anybody.
higher
She's gonna
responsibility
be
than to
and
defend our
then
country from
she
threats and
might just
invasions,
turn the
and
Kamala
that
Harris
is
playbook,
exactly
meaning
what I am
shut
going
off
to do. We
the
will
far
do it at a
left
level that no
and go
president ever
for
seen
like the right
before.
wingers, right
Next,
wing
I will direct
centrists,
all members of my
and
cabinet
or
to
just give some
marshal
of the
the
right
vast
wingers to
powers
come
at their
join her side,
disposal
which
to
is just
defeat
a
what
horrible
was
playbook.
record
Horrible
inflation
playbook.
and
I just don't. I don't
rapidly
get that, Chad. I won't lie. I
downward
never got that,
prices.
especially this past election. It just didn't make sense to me. I'm like, you have a whole base that's
The
you're not
inflation
touching
crisis was
because
caused by
you're
massive
afraid to
overspending
go
and
that far.
escalating energy
Bring
prices.
them in. Try to
That
bring them
is
in the
why
voting
today I
booth. You
will
know,
also declare
you
an
didn't do that. You shunned them
national
out. You shut them out. You
energy
basically said,
emergency. We
"Oh,
will
if you don't vote
literally
for me, then you're
drill.
voting for Donald Trump." That's their only like thing that they kept saying. I'm like, that's no one cares about that anymore. That worked in 2020.
Yeah.
I'll give that it worked, but that's because people were like, okay, we don't want Trump again, you know, and
Yeah.
they tried to do that. Well, again, the pandemic helped because Trump didn't do a very good job with the pandemic in the beginning. So
America will be a manufacturing
um,
nation once again.
that's what's
And
kind of
that is
really led
something
to
that
him not
no
being
other
reelected.
manufacturing
And,
nation will
If
ever
it
and
have.
wasn't
then
The
like the
largest amount of
lesser of
oil
two
and
evil
gas of
stuff,
any
you know.
country on earth.
yeah.
Oh, vote for
And
Biden, don't
we
vote
are
for Trump,
going
you
to
know.
use
Trump,
it.
Biden's less evil.
We're going to use it.
That was not going to work this election. That was like a once in a lifetime
We will
opportunity,
bring
you can kind of
prices
say.
down, fill
So
our
they
strategic
tried doing the
reserves
same
up
playbook. I'm
again
like,
right
that's
to
not
the
gonna
top,
work, you know,
and
and
export
didn't work at all.
American energy
So
all
It's
over the
interesting right now
world.
if you're watching and listening, guys. He's talking
yeah,
about declaring a national
We will be a
emergency and
rich nation
forcing oil
again,
companies to
and
drill
it is
more.
that
He's
liquid
saying he's going
gold
to use
under our
the
feet
resources of our country. This is a
that will
national
help
security
do it.
threat.
With
So,
my actions today, we will
interesting,
end the Green New Deal and we
interesting.
will revoke the electric
yeah,
vehicle
wow.
mandate,
He's revoking electric
saving
vehicle
our auto
mandates,
industry and keeping my
destroying
sacred
the Green
pledge to
New
our
Deal.
great American auto workers.
Oh,
Interesting.
he's saying that's part of the deal he made with to get the support of the UAW, the Union for Auto Workers. Interesting. So apparently they wanted to get rid of electric vehicles
In other words, you'll be able to
and to have more oil
buy
drilling.
the car
Very
of
That's
your
interesting.
interesting to
choice.
me,
We
specifically
will
with how
build
close
automobiles that
Elon
America
Musk is to
again
him, and
will
Elon Musk is a
enjoy
big
could have
he is
dreamt
Tesla, you
possible
know.
just a few years ago.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, Elon Musk is
Thank
more
you to
Twitter than
the auto
Tesla now at
workers
this
of our
point, maybe.
nation for your
yeah,
inspiring
yeah, that's
vote of
true.
confidence. We did
That's just
tremendously
interesting. I'll tell
well.
you that.
Definitely. Definitely.
I
I,
think he said at one
Begin
time. Do you
the
remember the famous
overhaul
saying, "Drill,
of
baby,
our
drill"?
he
trade
just
What
he
you about
just
to
said
system
it.
to
say?
He said
protect
it right now.
American workers and
He said.
families. Instead of taxing our citizens to
Oh,
enrich
here comes the
other
tariffs.
countries, we will tariff and
This is
tax
true.
foreign countries to enrich our citizens.
Let's see how that works out. That's going to be the most interesting thing because that is the most
Purpose,
inflationary
we are
policy he's talked about.
establishing the
Yes.
External
I
Revenue
don't think it's gonna
Service
work out pretty as good
to
as he
collect
thinks in
all
his mind.
tariffs,
You
duties,
know,
If
because
it,
and
okay,
revenues. It will
with
be
tariffs,
massive
from what I understand
amounts of
and what I
money
read up
pouring
on it,
into our treasury,
it's like, let's
coming
say
from
I'm putting
foreign
a tariff
sources. The
on
American dream will soon be
uh
back and thriving like
China
never
regarding
before
to
restore
uh
confidence and
steel,
effectiveness to our
right?
federal government.
So anything
My
that's coming from
administration
China
will
that's being made,
establish
like
a
any from
brand
like
new
let's say
Department of
the new iPhone
Government
has
Efficiency.
is being made with steel, right? For example, and they're making it in China, and then they come bring it to US to sell it.
yep,
That's gonna be taxed
yep.
big time.
After
So instead of,
years and
I
years
see
of
what he's trying
illegal
to
and
do. He wants to make
unconstitutional
like
federal
it to
efforts
be
to
like
restrict free
manufactured back in the
expression,
United
I
States.
will
That's how
also
we make
sign an
money again.
executive
You
order
want to
to
make it back to
immediately
the United
stop
States. But
all
the issue
government
with that is
censorship and bring
what
back
these big
free
companies are going
speech
to
to
do is
America.
they're going to just up the price of the iPhone because of that,
They're not going to
which
take a
is
hit
going to
to their
make inflation
profits.
everywhere. They're not going to take a hit with their profits. Yeah. They're going to just make us pay more, the United States, the American people. So inflation is just going to go up regardless to it.
And he's saying in the first part,
So,
before he even
Never
started
again
talking about the
will
tariffs,
the
he was
immense
saying
power of the
we're
state
declaring a
be
war on
weaponized to
inflation. We're getting
persecute
prices
political
brought down,
opponents.
and that's why they're drilling.
Something I know something about.
But that's for me. This doesn't make sense. Like
I mean, that's sort
I
of
don't.
the hallmark of Trump is making statements that seem contradictory at times.
Yeah, and to be fair, he's saying that specifically for his supporters to hear. Like, oh, well, that's the way. That's how he's gonna break it down. His supporters aren't the most intelligent individuals, I'd say. Specifically, the
Some of
ones
them.
from the boonies, I like to say.
I would say the average person in America, I mean, the average person in the world isn't intelligent according to measures. So what does
Yeah,
intelligent mean? You know what I mean? Would we
that's
hype it
true.
up that much if it was something that was so common? Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, man.
I mean, there's definitely some smart
He hasn't
people.
talked about immigration, right?
Peter Thiel's no dummy, so he hasn't talked about immigration yet, to my knowledge.
Guys, because by the way, guys, we want to say that like he already announced that he was gonna plan. I think today, mass like deportations.
He has been,
So I
yeah,
think what is it? The big and specifically the major cities, the asylum cities they call them. So he's going straight up to these. Uh, he's talking about two genders right now.
yep, yeah. He's hitting,
Male, female.
he's hitting all the things people want to hear, all the the crowd pleasers.
He's something else. Let me just tell you that.
Hey man, he's appealing to the crowd. He knows what they want to hear.
This week, I will reinstate any service
That's
members
true.
who were unjustly expelled from our military for objecting to the COVID vaccine mandate with
Ooh,
full back
that.
pay.
Oh, full back pay is crazy. That's interesting.
Full back pay?
For he says he's gonna have full back pay for any military members who were ejected for not taking the vaccine.
And I will sign in
Oh.
order to stop our warriors from being subjected to radical political theories and social experiments while on duty. It's
Oh.
going to end immediately.
No more woke army.
Our armed forces will be freed to focus on their sole mission, defeating
I know one of the biggest things he
America's
said that he was
enemies.
tackling was DEI. So
I mean, yeah, this is in line with what the common
yeah,
public perception of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion policies are. So he's saying he's going to get him out of the government, which hey, that seems to be that's something he has power over at the least. You know what I mean? Getting inflation
yeah,
lower, that may be beyond him, but definitely he can change the way
In
troops are educated.
2017, we will again build
yeah.
the
I
strongest
agree.
military the world has ever seen.
It's gonna be
We will
interesting to see
measure
what's
its
gonna happen.
success
This
not
this
only
these
by
next
the
4 years,
battles
it's
we
gonna be
win,
very
but also
interesting.
by the
For
wars
sure.
we
I don't know
end,
what to
and perhaps
expect. I'll
most
be honest with
importantly,
you.
the wars we never
We'll see
get
what the
into.
world's like in 2028 or 2029, I guess, when he's finally out of power.
Yeah, yeah. He has a big 4 years coming up. So he has the World Cup he's hosting. So
That's gonna be crazy. Oh my god,
yeah,
I
he's
forgot
probably gonna
about
be the
that.
one giving out the trophy.
My proudest legacy
That's
will
true.
be
No,
that
he
of
will be.
a
So
peacemaker and
it's
unifier.
gonna be
That's what I
pretty
want to
interesting
be,
to
a
see. I'll tell you that.
peacemaker and a
For
unifier.
sure. Here he's talking
I'm
about staying
pleased
out
to
of
say that
wars
as of
and being a
yesterday, one
peacemaker.
day before I assumed office,
Which is,
the
I think a lot of people
hostages in the
voted for him
Middle
for
East
that.
are coming
No,
back
so that's
home
another big
to
topic
their
that a lot of people voted
families.
for him. Because
Definitely.
everybody seen everything was going on in Ukraine, in Palestine. They're like, okay, we want all this to stop.
For
You
sure.
know,
And he did. He negotiated the deal. It was the same deal that had been on the table for, almost a year at this point. But he
yeah,
finally pressured Netanyahu to accept it.
yes,
So
yeah.
he is the
I
real
saw
deal
that
maker.
America
because
will
I'll tell
reclaim
you
its
that one
rightful
interesting thing
place
I
as
saw
the
a report
greatest, most
because you
powerful,
know how
most
he made that threat
respected
saying like if
nation on
their
earth,
hostages aren't released before I
inspiring the
come in
awe
office,
and
all hell's gonna break
admiration of
loose.
the entire
They're saying
world.
that when he said
A short
that,
time
he
from
wasn't
now,
only
we're
talking
going to
about
be changing the
uh
name of the Gulf
like
of
the
Mexico to
Hamas.
the
He was also
Gulf of
specifically talking
America,
about
and we will restore
Netanyahu
the
and Israel
name
too. So it was really interesting to
of a
see
new
that he's
president,
actually like pressured them
William
and basically
McKinley,
saying like,
to
okay,
Mount
stop playing around and
McKinley,
just
where it
accept the
should
deal.
be
It's a
and
good
where it
deal.
belongs.
So
Yeah, he's saying we're gonna rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
yeah,
I'm down
and I
with
saw
it.
something about Mount McKinley.
Yeah,
Made our
he
country
said
very
we're gonna
rich
rename it. We're
with
gonna put
tariffs
the name
and
back in Mount
brutality.
McKinley where it really
He was a
belongs.
natural businessman and
Wait,
gave
where
us
is
What's the
Mount
mountain?
McKinley?
money for
Where
many
is
of
Mount?
the
That's what I'm saying.
I
Yeah.
thought it was in
cities,
Alaska,
including the
but am I
Panama
tripping?
Canal,
Did they
which has
rename it?
foolishly been given to
Mount.
the country of
Oh, they
Panama
renamed it
after
to
the
Mount
United
Denali.
States. The United States, I mean, think of
Oh,
this,
yeah,
spent
that's
more
Entry.
money
think that might be a
I
native.
kind of
It might be an Inuit name or something. You know what I mean?
yeah.
38,000 lives
Let's
in the
see.
building of the Panama Canal.
Oh, okay, there it is.
We have been
Yeah.
treated
So
very
the
badly for this
Koyukon
foolish
are
gift
people
that
of
should have
Alaskan
never been made. And
Athabascans, also known as
Panama's promise
Dinah,
to us has been
who
broken.
settled in the
The
interior area
purpose of
north
our
of the
deal
mountains. In
and the
1975, the
spirit of
state
our
of Alaska
treaty has been
requested that the
totally
mountains be
violated, and
officially
our
recognized as
concessions
Denali,
are
as
being
it was still
severely
common name
overshot
used in the state and was
and not
traditional among
treated
Alaskan
fairly
Native
in
people. So
any
it is
way,
named
shape,
after
or
the
form, and
natives,
that includes the
which is
United
Dinah.
States Navy.
Interestingly, it
And
was
above
changed
all,
in
China
2015, which
is
is when,
operating
right
the
right before he
Panama
became
Canal,
president.
and
So
we
he had the
didn't
chance to
give it
change
to
this while he
China. We
was
gave it to
president, but
Panama, and we're taking it
I
back.
I
guess
again, I think that this tackles what he's been trying to do. He wants to like get make change, I guess, quote unquote woke, like he
yeah.
likes to say. He wants to change everything. All say, oh, that's why he did the genders of male and female. That's why he did all that stuff. It's because he's trying to tackle the quote unquote woke that he
Above
likes to
all, my
say.
message
Yeah.
to
So
Americans
I think
today
that's
is
why he
that
did it.
it is time
For
for
sure,
us to
it's
once
more
again
the anti DEI
urge
push, which
vigor
is extremely popular. A
and
lot of
Yeah,
Americans really
vitality
liked
in
it. Like
history's
it's something that
greatest
helped get him elected for
celebration.
sure.
So as we
big time.
liberate our
Saying he's
nation, we
still saying he's
will
gonna take back the
lead it
Panama Canal.
to new heights of victory and success. We will not
It'd be
be
interesting to
deterred.
see. That's
Together
gonna
we
be a
will
very
end the
interesting
chronic
thing to see
disease
because it's a
epidemic
it's a it's a it's a
and keep our
sovereign nation.
children safe,
The
healthy,
Pan was
and
a
Well,
sovereign
yeah,
prosperous.
we
nation.
did own it before though.
The
Like
United
he's
States
saying take it
Yeah,
back
may
because
consider
we did
itself a
create and
growing
operate it
yeah,
for a long time, but
as it
yeah.
it's
increases our
interesting because right
wealth,
now we still
expands
pretty
our
much have open
territory,
access to it. Like we can do
builds our
whatever we
cities,
want there,
raises our
but every country in the
expectations, and
world does. And
carries
if
us
he
Hmm.
doesn't want China
into
operating
new and
in the
beautiful
Western Hemisphere, which is
horizons.
something he seems to be
And we
into,
will pursue our
taking back the
Yeah,
Panama
manifest
Canal would be a
destiny
way to
to the
stop their
stars,
trade as
launching
well.
American astronauts
that's
Manifest
true.
to
destiny.
plant the stars
Interesting.
and
Oh
stripes
wow.
on
Saying
the
manifest
planet
destiny and saying we're
Mars.
gonna plant our flag on Mars.
That is interesting to say. That is
Yeah.
interesting. It gives me a little bit of like, because it gives me a little bit of like American history, like a flashback of when I was in school, hearing about manifest destiny,
Was a
and
scary
then
thing.
him talking about like going to the moon, not a
The
moon, Mars.
ambition
It reminds me of like what
is
was
the
it JFK was
lifeblood
the one
of
who
the
said,
Space
"Oh, we're gonna
race.
try to go to the moon,
and
space
right
race,
now our
try to go to the
nation
moon."
is more
So it's kind of like it
ambitious
reminds me a little bit of
than any
that.
other.
The
There's
space
never
race
been
was
such
a great
ambitious.
job creator, though I will say, especially for people in
Americans
STEM,
are
people who had
exploring, growing,
science and
innovative
mathematics education.
entrepreneurs
A
and
lot of
pioneers.
Hmm.
mathematicians got their careers
The
built off the
spirit of
space
the
race, so
frontier is written into
it
our
might be good for some of the
hearts.
people I
The
know. We'll
call
see.
of the
I
next
always think,
great
as it
adventure
always comes back to how is
is
this
a
going to affect young
balance
people in this
from
country?
within our
What's going to be
souls.
best for young people in this country? And I will
Our
say, for young
ancestors
educated
turned
people
a
with STEM
small group
degrees,
of
because
colonists
a
on
lot
the
of these
edge of
Meta and
a
Google and
vast
Facebook, they're
continent into
laying
a
off
mighty republic
so many
with
engineers
most
and things like that.
their citizens
If the
on
public
earth.
sector absorbs them
Freedom
all,
comes
absorbs all these
first.
people with computer science and
Americans push
engineering degrees,
thousands
and
of
helps
miles
them
for
get
a
good
rugged
jobs,
land
trying to get us to Mars, I'm
of
okay with that.
untamed wilderness.
Yeah,
Those
likewise, I
deserts
agree
scaled
with you on that.
mountains, braved untold dangers,
So.
won the wild
The most important thing is
wastelands,
creating
bravely
jobs,
rescued the
trying to get the
Indian
economy back
frontier,
to it. Not
lifted
like
billions
this
from
is where I have an
poverty,
issue when people say,
harnessed
"Oh, so many
electricity,
jobs are
split the atom,
created," or like we got
launched
this
mankind
many
into
this
the
many jobs
heavens,
that got added on.
and put the
They're mainly
universe
talking
and
about those
human
little
knowledge
jobs. They're
into
talking
the
about like
palm
McDonald's and all that
of the
stuff.
human hand.
We want the
If we
actual
work
career
together,
jobs,
there
you
is
know.
nothing we
It's
cannot
not
do,
about
So
and
jobs as a
nothing we
concept.
cannot
Jobs aren't the end goal. The
achieve.
end goal is improving the
Many
quality of
people
life of
thought
young people.
it was
You know what I
impossible
mean?
yes,
for me to stage
one
such a
1000%.
And a
historic
good job
critical
can help with that.
comeback.
And if the government's willing to
But as you
invest
see today,
in
here
those
I am,
workers
the
because of
American
the
people
goals
have
of
spoken.
getting more astronauts to Mars, I'm all for it.
1000%. 1000%. See.
And that's the thing, Anytime we hear this stuff about he's gonna end woke or do all this, you always gotta think, what's it gonna do for young people?
I
Because
stand before you now
the
as
average white
proof
person
that
in this
we
country,
should
the most
never
common age for a
aim
white
for
person in this
something
country
that's
is right around
impossible to
60.
do.
Like
In
that is the
America,
average
the
age of white person. Baby
impossible
boomers are
is
the
what
largest
we
white
do
generation. So if you
best.
really want to help minorities, if you really want to help black people, Hispanic people, Asian people in America, you would want to help young people.
New
The
York
average
to
black
Los
person is in their late
Angeles,
20s.
from
The average
Philadelphia
Asian
to
person in America is
Phoenix,
in their late 20s,
from
early
Chicago
30s.
to
The average
Miami, from
Hispanic person in
Houston
America
to
is
right
like
here
11
in
years old or something like
Washington,
that. You know what I mean?
D.C.
As a child,
Our
technically.
country
So
was
if you want
forged and
to
built
really
by
help these people,
generations of
him saying, I'm going to
victims
get rid of
looking
DEI,
straight
but I'm going to do it
ahead
in a way that helps young
for
people,
our
would help more
rights and
minorities
for our
than just
freedom.
having the DEI
Our
label slapped
fathers
on
and
certain
soldiers
things.
cowboys and
Yeah,
factory workers,
I agree.
steel workers and coal miners, police officers and pioneers who
Steel
pushed
workers,
onward
coal
and
miners. He's talking
forward.
about.
and let
Yeah,
no
working class people, his
obstacle
base.
their spirit
Working
of
class, yeah, the
enterprise.
blue collar workers.
Exactly.
Together they laid down the railroads, raised up the skyscrapers, built great highways, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism,
Mm.
and triumphed over every single challenge that they faced.
So what
After all
fascism
we've
and
been
triumph
through together, we
and
stand on the
communism.
verge of the 4 greatest years in American
Yep.
history. With your help, we will restore America's promise, and we will rebuild the nation that we love, and we love it so much. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. So to every parent who dreams for their child, and every child who dreams for their future, I am with you, I will fight for you, and I will win for you. They're going to win like never before.
So this is right now. He's basically speaking directly to the American people.
Yeah, saying he wants us to be winners again.
Thank you.
Yep,
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Is this the end? Are we wrapping up?
think so. It looks like it.
Definitely does.
Thank you.
No, he likes our length.
In recent years, our nation has suffered greatly, but we are going to bring it back and make it great again, greater
He's
than
not
ever
talking on the
before.
prompter, right? He's talking directly,
We will be
like
a nation like no other, full of
I have no
It's
idea
like-
if
courage
if it is you. They're not showing it to us. Obviously, why would they show us a
Our
prompter?
power will stop all
Yeah.
wars and bring a new spirit
because
of
knowing
unity
him
in a
sometimes
world that has
prompter,
been
but
angry,
most likely like
violent, and
He does
He
like to go off
speaks.
script. The thank yous for sure. I think were off script. The thank you, thank you, thank
Yes.
you.
again and admired again, including by people of religion.
What's so
faith,
funny?
and
He has that little
goodwill.
smirk of his
We
too.
will be prosperous.
Yeah.
We will be proud. We
Prosperous
will
and
be
proud.
strong, and we will win like never before. We will not be conquered. We will not be intimidated. We will not be broken, and we will not fail.
That's a big one
From
right
this
there. He
day
just
on,
said
the
we will not
United
be
States of
intimidated.
America will be a free,
Yeah.
sovereign,
Because a lot of people have felt like the
independent
United
nation.
States has not been
We
an
will stand
intimidating.
bravely. We will live proudly.
We're not top
We
dogs
will
anymore.
dream
We get pushed around a
boldly,
little bit.
and nothing will stand in our way because we are Americans. The future is ours, and our golden age has just begun. Thank you. God bless America. Thank you all.
Like that's gonna be it.